Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll get to those stories in a moment, but first, for decades, the people who lived around the old Kerr McGee plant in Columbus have been fighting for funds to clean up their neighborhood. Today, there is real progress. The problem began with creosote. It has a tar-like smell, and it's used to keep wood from rotting. At the old plant, it was used on railroad ties, cross switches, and timber. The chemical mix also seeped into the soil over the years. Cleanup is now complete on the second phase of the site. WCBI's Victoria Bailey spent today learning about the chemical and the efforts to resolve the problems.
It all started right here at the former Kerr McGee Chemical Corporation site, where a chemical was discovered to be leaving a major impact on the surrounding areas. Now, the city is one step closer to correcting the issue.
This year, it's real bad. Trees growing up, and it was, like I say, it's nasty, and we didn't like that.
It's taken years to see the difference. Funding was slow, held up by court cases, but Tuesday, Columbus City leaders and residents got to look at the newly completed 7th Avenue project.
The first thing we did was we came in and we investigated to determine where the creosote was. So we had to come in and do sampling, and then we came in and we did air monitoring while we were doing our work to make sure that the residents were protected while we were doing the excavation. As the creosote was excavated, we put it into line trucks so that it could go to a proper landfill. We also had some tanks here to remove any water that might be in the ditches.
90% of the project team consisted of local minority-owned contractors and laborers. LAURI GORTON is the environmental program director. She says it's definitely a team effort when ensuring the community's safety.
One of the main things we wanted to do was keep creosote from continuing to move in the ditches and ultimately down towards the creek. But one of the other dangers of the creosote when it's in the ground is that it will bleed chemicals into the groundwater over time.
Team members involved with the project say it's nice to highlight the good things taking place in the city.
Well, you know, most of the times you have some naysayers always saying that there's no progress going on in the city and around the city, and this project here is another aspect to show that there are things that's going on within the city to improve certain areas.
This is great to be able to have a portion of this project completed and be able to provide the community with a safer place for them to grow up and for their kids to play.
Mayor Smith adds that the next project is scheduled for about mid-summer 2017. For now, I'm in Columbus. Victoria Bailey for WCBI News.
Now, though the corporation shut down in the early 2000s, the full funding from the settlement was not in place with the trust until 2015. The 7th Avenue Box Culvert project was completed ahead of schedule and below the original $2.8 million budget.